Chapter 2, let's solve some proportions. I call this proportion 3A in my arithmetic curriculum that I call tray arithmetic. We're going to solve proportions by cross multiplying, and when I was in middle school, I would teach my 8th graders to call this the butterfly method. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but it's an easy way to remember it. Sometimes when you solve a proportion, you're going to get a pre-algebra or algebra equation that you have to solve, and you have to use your inverse operations to solve them. Sometimes you get a one-step equation to solve, sometimes you get a two-step, and sometimes you get a multi-step. So in example 1, this is going to give us a one-step equation. So in example 1, we're going to solve this by doing the cross product, which most people call cross multiplying. I like to call it the butterfly method. So think about a butterfly with its wings, okay? So here's one of the wings. I have to multiply the numerator on the left one times the denominator on the right one. So I write 5m times 3. I put my equal sign down, and now I do the other wings on the butterfly, 6 times 10. Now this ends up being, after you simplify it, a one-step equation. 5m times 3 is 15m. 6 times 10 is 60. Anytime that I have a coefficient times a variable equaling a constant number, which is 15m equals 60, I can undo this using inverse operations. So the inverse operation of multiplying m by 15 is to divide 15m by 15. So I divide the left by 15, and I divide the right by 15. This is called the division property of equality. 15 over 15 is 1, and 1 times m is m. And 60 divided by 15 is 4. So I believe my answer is 4. So anytime that I have solved a proportion like this, and remember a proportion is simply a ratio equaling a ratio, I can take and use my original and substitute where I have an m and put a 4 there. I put it in parentheses. And I put a question mark. If when I cross multiply and do the cross product or the butterfly method and get the same number on each side after I'm done simplifying and multiplying, then I know I was correct. I wrote that wrong because I've got to have it over 6 here. All right, so 5 times 4 is 20 over 6 because I have to simplify that first one because you're going to multiply before we cross multiply. Now I do my butterfly. 20 times 3. Does that equal 6 times 10? 20 times 3 is 60. 6 times 10 is 60. I know it works. So there's a one step. So what happens when you have a variable minus a number in the numerator here? No other variables, it's going to be a two-step equation. So let's go ahead and use our butterfly method. 6 times 3 equals 9, and I have to put this in parentheses. That is one of the little things you have to remember to do or you'll miss it. So I do the distributive property here. 6 times 3 is 18. That is 9 times f, which is 9f. I have to distribute the 9 across there. So there's some other videos that have distributive property I've already done and put on my YouTube channel. So that's 9 times 2. Now I have to simplify this before I can start my inverse operations on the two-step equation. 9 times 2 is 18. All right, so now I've got a number equaling a coefficient times a variable minus a constant number. So I have to undo the minus 18, or do the inverse operation of subtracting 18. That's the opposite of minus 18, which is plus 18. It's the addition property of equality. If I have to do that to the left, then I have to add 18 to the right. You have to do the same exact thing. That is what is called the addition property of equality. Minus 18 plus 18 is 0. This crosses out. 9f minus 0 is 9f. So I have 9f on the right. 18 plus 18 is 36. I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to take this and rewrite it up here so that everyone can see well. Now I have a one-step equation. I have a number equaling a coefficient times a variable. So I have to undo or do the inverse operation of 9f. So the opposite of multiplying f by 9 is dividing f by 9. So I have to do it to the right, and I have to do it to the left. 9 over 9 is 1, so I have f equals 36 divided by 9 is 4. So I'm saying I believe that 4 is the answer. And I always tell students, prove it. And what does it mean to prove it? It means to check it. So I take my original, and where I have the variable, instead of the variable, I'm going to put a 4. So I have 6 over 9, and I put that question mark above the equal sign. 4 minus 2 over 3. So now I have to do this subtraction in the numerator on the right first in doing my order of operations. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now you may know either that's true or false. If you don't know, use the butterfly method. 6 times 3, does that equal 9 times 2? 6 times 3 is 18. 9 times 2 is 18. It works. So a one-step cross-multiplying proportion solved. A two-step cross-multiplying proportion solved. Okay, now I'm going to erase these. You could always pause it or rewind if you need to see it. And I'm going to write 2 student practice problems up here. And then you're going to be able to pause this right at the end, grab a piece of paper, see if you can do them, and then click on a link that comes up at the end when you're watching this on YouTube. Click on it, and then you can check your answers. All right. So we've got student practice 1. And the student practice 1 is 2a over 12 equals 10 over 4. Cross multiply, solve for a, and then check it. Butterfly method, solve for a, and then check it. And then we have student practice 2. And that is 14 over 2 equals 3 plus b over 5. And that is a b. That is not a 6. So there will be a link in the last 20 seconds of the video up here. That'll be the solution to these two, another video. There'll be a link down here that has several different arithmetic problems that you can look at the different videos on. I am Mr. Chu. Trey Arithmetic, which is named after my black tomcat, wants to help you, so let Mr. Chu and let Trey show you how easy math really is. I'll see you next time in Trey Arithmetic.